Yeah, this dude. He ain't so happy with me right now. You're about to get relocated to a new home, dude. So I'm taking this guy down here to the end of the property. And so I've got a brush pile down here where I throw all the things I'm pulling out of the garden, the cuttings and the trash and everything, all the weeds, everything I'm pulling out. And several weeks ago I noticed I actually had a tomato plant that had started growing here, and it's put on some fruit, and of course the insects are getting to it and the bugs are getting to it. And since Mr. Turtle here was eating in my garden, I thought I'd bring him down here and let him eat some that I'm not hard working at, and maybe he'll leave my garden alone. Yeah, it won't stop raining. I get out here and do a little bit of work, and the rain comes, and it'll stop again for a little while. By that point, everything's soaking wet again. I mean, I got bean sprouts sprouting in their pod, because the times when I have had available to get out here in the garden and really do and pick and deal with stuff, it's been raining. Now I really need to do all this, but it just came pouring down a few minutes ago. So, I don't know. This weather doesn't give up. A lot of my plants are going to continue dying, like these poor tomato bushes. This is pretty much narrowed it down to late blight, which is caused by a fungus within the soil that comes from all this rain that we've gotten. Some of them are still doing okay, but others, the fruits have been picked by the birds and the bugs, and we've had squash vine borers, and I come out and I spray for this stuff, and immediately the rain comes and washes it all away, and it's just a never-ending cycle. We've got some pretty decent looking little cucumbers coming on in here, but I can come out here, you know, twice a day and check, and the next thing I know, I got a cucumber bigger than my hand because of all this rain. My marigolds are like legit taking over the entire garden walkway. I got this little tiny space here to walk. My tomatoes are hurting. My squash is done for, and you know, some of the cucumbers are doing okay, but the ones over here on the trellis got that downy mildew. It's a disease, and every time I spray for it, it rains and washes it off. So it's just kind of a losing battle. These have just about given up the ghost to the vine borers, to the blight. So it's time to start planting seeds for a fall garden, and hopefully I can get it to do something. I do have one tiny little Kajari melon. It's making it so far. This plant looks like it's starting to get some of this downy mildew too. It's just from all this rain. But I'm gonna baby and see if I can't get this one to grow to full size. Here's hoping. Hey everybody, it is Monday again. I hope y'all are having a fabulous week. The garden this week, I'm gonna be cutting in a few little bits and pieces I've filmed throughout the weekend. We took out, let's see, there's most of the corn, and I've still got some beans and then some squash plants and a bunch of weeds to get out of the way. And then we'll start working on getting this bed cleaned up and ready to plant some fall plants in here. My tomatoes are still producing, not like they were, but most of them are suffering from this late blight that is just making the branches completely die off. And we've got issues with, what is this? I don't know. I think that's a stink bug of some kind. Yeah, so pest issues, disease issues. Every time I come out and spray, then it rains and, you know, completely washes away all of the spray that I've just used. So it's just kind of a frustrating battle at the moment. We've had cucamelons here. They're growing up. And I'll get a bunch of the little ones budding out and blooming like that. And then I don't ever see anything else from them. So I don't know if the birds are eating my plants or what's happening here. Now, these cucumbers, these are a pickling form of cucumber. They're starting to get really long. I'm doing well. I think later this week I may end up pulling up this zucchini. Grandboars have gotten it yet. Still got some peppers producing. This marigold taking over the whole world. But overall, I think my summer garden has started to dwindle and get about what I can get out of it. So it's time to start cleaning up, and let's see about working on the next part. My loofah squash, they're still doing good. I got the one butternut squash doing okay so far. It's been so wet that these little guys will put on a squash, but when the flower opens, it's so wet that it can't get pollinated and they end up falling back off. And then this plant here, yep, he's currently actively being pollinated by the bees. I pulled a couple of surprise cucumbers off of him. I mean, the first surprise is this was supposed to be more of a bush variety, and it's trying to take over the whole garden. And the second surprise is I'll come out 2 or 3 times a day and check them, and then all of a sudden I have a 6-inch cucumber just hanging out, and I have no idea where it came from. Beans are near the end. Flowers are still doing good. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a fabulous Monday, and y'all keep gardening on. I'll see you next week.